So hello everyone. Welcome to my very small YouTube channel about knitting. My name is Isabelle. I am in France. I have 3 sons and I have 3 cats. Some have said it's related. And I'm filming these videos in English because I miss my English so very much. I used to live in the United States, but that was 32 years ago, and I don't have any opportunity to be talking in English. So this is my weekly practice while I record these videos. So today it's going to be a video about my Yarn No Buy Year project. I've already had this project for the whole year last year, and I will attach the first video I made, maybe not the first one, but the first set of guidelines I had last year for myself. And I will also attach the second video I made about my new guidelines for this year. And I'm filming monthly reports about this year-long project where I want to knit what I have in my stash. I don't want to be buying any more yarn unless I am in person, I am in a store or an event, something like that, or maybe for a specific project for someone. But I want to knit all my stash, and I've added guidelines about also patterns, and mostly this year new guidelines about online patterns, because I thought I was going off board with my expenses in on that topic. So what we have to know is that going off board is very personal. So what is off board for me may not be off board for you, and what is expensive for me may be highly expensive for you. So it's very personal, and it's all a matter of being more conscious about the way we spend our money, what we buy, and why we buy it, and not just buy and buy and buy to accumulate, because it's like overeating. You compensate for maybe some kind of feelings, emptiness of feelings that you feel inside, and it's not a good way to cope with that. So anyway, so today it's going to be my monthly checking for February 2023. And despite that very long introduction, if that type of video sounds good to you, please stay tuned. So as everyone else, first things first, what am I wearing? So this Saturday shrug was the first one I made with bright and loud colors, because I needed a way to express myself in a period not long ago of very high and intense stress. I'm still back again into this intense stress period, so I'm wearing it as a symbol of my stressful state of mind. So you've already seen it. I knit that with mohair from the Pyrenees. And my sweater, I haven't talked about it yet. It's just finished. It just dried out. Just let it dry out flat. I did not block it with needles and stuff. I just washed it. And I will talk about it in my next knitting adventures series. So okay, my lady cat wanted out, so I let her out. So what did I buy in February? Nothing. So I have nothing to report as far as expenses. I've knit from my stash. The last book I bought was in January. It's the Neon and Neutrals, and I've had a shipment notice. I do not have a tracking, active tracking yet. I have a tracking number, but it's not been sent out to me yet. I'm filming right now. We are on the 1st of March, and it should be out on the 3rd. So maybe it will be shipped to me 2 days from now. But that expense was in January, so no expenses in February. I'm quite happy. I had a very stressful month, still is a very stressful month, and I'm happy I did not compensate buying things. So that's one thing. The second thing I want to be talking about, because just saying I did not buy anything knitwear related last month would not qualify for a video. I have a special, I was saying playlist, but a special bundle in my favorites that I've called Want to Buy 2023. Because what I learned last year is that I was spending a lot of money on digital patterns, online patterns. It's very easy to spend 5-10 euros on a pattern. It's totally transparent in my monthly budget. I do understand that for some people it can be extremely expensive, but I could afford it without problem. But when I added up, when I made the grand total last year, it was almost 200 euros of digital patterns. Most of them I had not knit them. They were in my library, sitting there waiting for me. So I do understand that online patterns can disappear. Yes. Creators can take them out. Creators can decide they're not offering them anymore. I know that. And that buying the pattern is kind of trying to secure the fact that I will have it in my library and on my computer, and I will be able to knit from it whenever I am ready. So I have to find a balance between buying the pattern on the spot when I want it, when the creator has an offer. That was a way for me to say I support them, I buy their pattern, and I do want to support them. But on the same time, do I want to be overspending for myself on digital patterns that maybe I will never knit? So one middle road, one midpoint between all of these very different point of views was to create a special bundle in my favorites and to place the patterns I wanted to buy and not buy them at the moment. If a designer has a 20% offer or even 50% offer on a $5 or $10 pattern, I think I can afford it full price. So whenever there is a pattern I'm ready to buy, if there is no more offer on it, I pay it full price. And I will even support even a bit more the creator. So in that bundle, my intention is to have a look at that bundle on a regular basis. So it's been 2 months now since I've been doing it. I have, I think, 20 patterns in that bundle. I haven't had any look at them beforehand, because what I want to do is go through that bundle and decide whether I keep the patterns in there, waiting for me to be ready to cast them on, or the fact that I selected them escapes me right now and I forgot about them, and why did I place them in the bundle? So why did I wanted to buy them to begin with? So that's what we are going to be doing today. Disclaimer, none of these patterns I have knit. I haven't knit any of them. I haven't had a look at the pattern to any of them because I haven't bought them. And the ones that are free, you can also have a look for yourself. I do not even know if there are free patterns there or not. So it's only my own way to go back through that list and decide whether I will want to buy a knit in the future or not, and why did I put that pattern there. Then it will be up to you to decide. Maybe that you hadn't seen that pattern, it's of some interest to you. So have a look for yourself and decide for yourself if you want to buy it and knit it. I don't have any feedback on any of these patterns other than I like the look of it, I want to make such and such type of knitting, I may have the yarn for it and I want to make it at some point. Or why did I place it there? That's kind of the way we are going to be going through that list. So that needs to be very clear. It's not a review of the patterns. I'm not recommending them to you. I'm just saying that I placed them for some reason, and are these reasons still valid for me today or not? And it may help you also discover new patterns along the way. So I said I have 20 patterns there. My bundle is Want to Make 2023. I think you can browse for yourself within my bundle. I think they are public. I'll try to check, but I have only one account on Ravelry, so I'm not sure I can see that without being connected. Anyway, so I'm going to be talking about these patterns by kind of knitted objects. So I have one set of shawls, shrugs, coals, etc. I have one set of t-shirt. I have one set of cardigan. I'm not knitting many cardigans. It's not much of my what I wear the most, but I want to make cardigans right now. So I will of course go through that. I have one set of sweaters. I have one hat and vests. I want to make a vest. So let's start with the first one, which is one hat. So this pattern is free. It's the August hat by Sarah Solomon in the wool. Why did I place that hat in this bundle? I think I like the color work. I like the little pom-pom that you make with the yarn, not a pom-pom that you buy and add to the hat. I like the color work. I like the braids. There are Latvian braids, I think, from what I'm seeing on the hat. And my son Theo has asked me to knit a hat for him. Will it be that one hat? I don't know. But I liked the color work on that hat very much. So it's in green. Maybe that's what caught my eye first. There is a blue version with the braids and darker and lighter blue without pom-pom that I like quite a lot too. And there are 819 projects with that pattern. And you can browse through all the projects too. I may record the screen and place it here. And have a look at all the color combinations people have made, and I think it's a very interesting one to have in your library as it's free. You have to know it's worsted weight yarn, so if I want to make it with the acrylic yarn mostly acrylic yarn my mother gave me, I may have to hold it double. And what do I want to say in addition to that? I'm not quite sure. 375mm and 4.5mm needles, so that's US 5 and 7. it should go quickly. So that's another thing I had seen about that hat. It should be a quick project. So yeah, I'm gonna be keeping it in my want to make, and I may move it to my queue of things I am sure I want to be making. Okay, next is about sweaters. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 patterns about sweaters. So first, the Elena pullover from Unit Toronto. This pattern is not free anymore, but there was a small window where you could get it for free, and this is when I got it. The Elena pullover is a very beautiful. There is a beautiful lace design on the yoke that is of the different color from the body, and so it's 4 and 4.5 millimeter needles, so US 6 and 7, with several threads of lace yarn held together. So I was thinking I may use my Holzgarn Super Soft for that. And what is quite unique about that pattern is the fact that the yoke, which is lace, is of a very contrasting color from the body. This is what caught my eyes. But in the samples, you also have a whole beigey white neutral color for both the yoke and the body. And having the yoke of the lace yoke with a very different color from the body is something I had not thought about, and something this pattern made me think about. So I will keep it in my queue, or not in my queue, in my want to make bundle, and thinking that these two colors on the yoke and on the body will be very convenient or interesting to be knitting. There are 13 projects, and 3 of them you have the colors, and yeah, you can have a look. Maybe there will be more right after we've been talking about that. But anyway, what I forgot to say, that the hat, the August hat, had many projects, and it was first published in August 2029, so over 800 projects in 5 years, something like that. And the Elena pullover or sweater was published in November 2022, so a more recent project. So one you can keep also in your list if the idea of knitting a lace yoke and a different stockinette body in a different color is of some interest to you. The next one is next sweater is On My Way by Thea maybe Westerby. So it was published in January 2023. This is also a free pattern that is available off Ravelry, and by Ficolana. And why was I interested about that sweater is because it has a motif, so that goes on the bias. It's knitted in the round top down. But the motif slides a few stitches on each direction, and you have a ridge that is of one color, and the background of the ridge that is of another color, and the whole look of this interesting pattern is really nice. And the background color is also a self-changing yarn from, in the sample, a darker orange color with a whiter or beigey ridge, and I don't think it's cable. And so the darker orange, so the darker background goes from darker orange to a lighter orange, or just some kind of light beige color. So there are two projects and no other picture for the second project. But I think this this way of changing the background color from dark to light, you can play with that. And with that lighter ridge that moves from one side to the other, I think it was very interesting. And you see my lady cat, she wants to go back in, of course. I'm sure if I was to add up the amount of time I'm opening and shutting the window for my cat, that would be a large part of my weekends when I'm home. Anyway, so that was On My Way sweater. And next is the Giselle sweater by Debbie Mage. So this is also, do I have it in my library? I have it in my library. So I think there was an offer on this pattern because I see it's available for $7. So I guess there was an offer at that point, at some point where you could get it for free. And why did I like this sweater is for several reasons. First, it's also a lace yoke sweater. I want to be knitting a lighter sweater now that we are moving towards warmer days, even though in France it's really cold at the moment. You know, the sun is out, so just next to the window, the house is very warm, but outside it was freezing cold. It was below freezing this morning. But I want to knit lighter sweaters. So these yoke sweaters are really appealing to me right now. There is a detail on the sleeve, a lace detail on the sleeve. The sleeve is wide with kind of a, the name escapes me right now, but it's not a ribbed border. You have the little waves at the top, bottom of the sleeves. I will write the name on the video. It escapes me right now. The sleeves are wide. I've already said I did not like wider sleeves that much because they get caught everywhere. When I wash my hands very often when I'm in the lab, it's under a lab coat. It's absolutely not practical for me. So I may have to do something about the wider sleeves. Other than that, I think what caught my eyes was the blue color. You can knit regular sleeves too, and the beautiful yoke design. You may recall I knit the scraggly color last year, 2 years ago, and I had said to Meret Betzberger, who created the scraggly color pattern, that she should continue the scraggly color for to have a sweater and to knit the bottom of this color to make a sweater or a t-shirt or something. Well, the Giselle sweater reminds me of, it's absolutely not the same lace design, but it reminds me of the spirit of the scraggly color, and it's a sweater. So maybe I will knit the Giselle sweater. Maybe I will choose to knit the scraggly color again and extend it to make a sweater. Anyway, so that Giselle was published in January 2023. So I guess maybe when it was first published, there was an offer and a code to get it for free. And this is why I have it in my library. I haven't had a look at it. So yeah, another beautiful sweater. Next is Building Blocks Drop. At first, so that's by Amy Sher Makes. It was published also in January 2023. I do not have it in my library. I haven't bought it. It's 1050 US dollars. And at first, I really liked the way she described it. I think I first saw it on Instagram. That was a very versatile, that you could adapt this pattern to a lot your liking, your body shape. If you want long sleeves, short sleeve, tight sleeves, if you want to have several colors in the sweater, pocket, no pocket, etc. So a very modular sweater that will adapt a lot of body shapes and a lot of designs, features that can fit your likings and your needs. I'm not sure I am going to be keeping this pattern in my want to make bundle. Why? Because it's a dropped sleeves. And at first I had not realized that, even though there is drop in the name. To me, I was thinking, it's kind of a recipe, and you can adjust it also to your yarn weight and change gauge and change colors and everything. But it's a dropped sleeve, and I'm not friends with drop sleeves because I need one sweater that all the stitches from the shoulders get stretched out, because the sweater is kind of heavy and pulls on the stitches, and I do not like what it's been doing now after wearing it and everything. So these building blocks drop. I am going to remove it from my want to make 2023. So the next and the last sweater, I have talked about it not long ago, so I'm not gonna talk much about it. I haven't bought it, so I haven't had any look at the sweater. It's the Rumble Jumper 2.0, so it's a revisit. So building blocks, I'm not sure I said it was published in January 2023, and Rumble Jumper 2.0, which was a revisit of the original Rumble Jumper, was published in December 2022. So it's from Iron Lynn, and what really appealed to me is the color work on the sleeves, the fact that the sweater has a whole beigey brown, light brown beige color. The color work is black over beige, and it's only at the bottom of the sleeves. And there is a matching lace pattern or cable pattern at the bottom of the sweater, of the front and the back, and at the bottom of the collar, which is a V-neck. So one thing about that sweater is that the sleeves, once again, are very wide. So I won't say again why it doesn't, I don't like that very much. I think that making the sleeves narrower will sort of destroy the look. I will have to think about that again, but I still like that sweater very much. I have already some idea of colors from my own stash that can and yarn from my own stash that can mimic what we are seeing here from the sample. There are already 50 projects in 3 months, and many people did choose mostly to have neutral colors, but there are some brighter wines, some pinker wines, some violet or purple ones, and you have a bright yellow and black. So there is also lots of room for color improvisation and playing with your own colors and your own liking. So yeah, this one is staying in my bundle. Okay, next we're going to be talking about cardigans. I don't wear much cardigans. You may have seen that. I have a few, but I don't wear cardigans very much. But I like the idea of a cardigan over a dress for the warmer days. So I want to have a cardigan that fits that requirement. I have a few ideas, but I've also placed 3 of them in this bundle. The first one is also a free pattern. It's Corniche by Barocco Design Team. It's been published in June 2021. So Corniche is a cardigan that you don't, no button, you wear it open, and it's knit in an interesting way so that it can stay open, a bit cropped, shorter sleeves. I like that, and mainly to wear over a dress. So it's knit up with a big, it's not a shawl color because it's knitted, it sits flat on the shoulders, but it's a white color. So 19 projects, not that many, and some people have placed buttons on the cardigan so that you can close it, tie it up. Some people have decided to have the color in a different color, the color piece in a different color. I'm not sure. It's not pronounced the same way, but I guess I pronounce it the same way. So I hope you get my idea. I'm not sure I can place pictures from other people than the creator here. And yes, this cardigan is knit with DK weight, so I have plenty of DK weight, plenty of ideas to be using for this piece, 5 millimeters and 3.75 millimeters, so that's US 8 and US 5 needles. It should be knitted quite quickly. It's cropped and shorter sleeves or 3/4 length sleeves, so it should be a quick knit, and so it's free, so you can have a look for yourself. The next pattern, I love it. It's the Zachary cardigan that's been published in January 2023. So it's in Japanese yen, 880. I haven't made any conversion. It says in Ravelry about €6.37, so that should be more or less the same amount in dollar, US dollar, depending on, you know, how the different currencies play together. And what I like with this cardigan very much, it's made in Gilead. So I have a sweater quantity or cardigan quantity of Gilead in Poivre Blanc, I think. So it's a whitish color that I had already assigned to one sweater, and which is, I do not recall. I'm gonna open my very quickly. I'm gonna open my Ravelry queue because it's still in my queue. And so the first time I bought Gilead and from Derrerum Natura was to knit, of course, the Chubasco sweater. You've been hearing me talking about it for many years now, or over a year now. And the next sweater I said I want to knit with Gilead was the Marzipan pullover by Sari Nordlund. So the Chubasco sweater is by Kate Berrios. I do not own both of these patterns in my library. I bought them both. But I haven't knit that, neither of them, and Gilead is still waiting for me. And the Zachary cardigan is calling my name. It says, Gilead is saying, knit that with me, knit that with me. Why do I like? The sleeves, so it's a bit cropped, shorter, not cropped, the shorter cardigan, and I have already knit one that looks about like that. So this is why it's really my style. It's what I like. And it was, what was your name? I'm going to retrieve it. The Cool Jacket by Nerega Roque. A bit shorter, a bit boxier, larger sleeves, but that have a narrow cuff so that it won't be going everywhere. You can, button it up or wear it open. And it's a boxy cardigan, and I like all the little details that the pictures allow us to see. So it's been published for 2 months now, something like that, in January, so I'm not sure when. Already 99 projects. I'm gonna stop to be coughing. So either a cat or cat hair in my throat. So 99 projects, quite a bit, quite a successful pattern. Some people have made one thing that I like very much, is to have very different colorful buttons of different colors. And that I liked quite a bit. You can have it in, it's been knit in darker color or green and red and orange or other type of brighter color, earthy colors, a dark blue one. And if you browse through the projects, you can see that many people with many different body shapes have made this piece and it fits them. So yes, this one is staying in my want to make bundle, and I'm really undecided right now what I am going to be knitting with my beautiful Gilead from Derrière Homme Natura. Okay, next cardigan is Nanook by Heidi Kermeyer. I've seen that pattern for a long time. It's been published in January 2012, and so it's a pet for pattern, so I don't have it. I could not have a look at it. It's $7 so about €7.39. And what I liked about this cardigan was the color, with a lace pattern or stitch motif, a stitch pattern on the collar, and the very loose and wide fitting that was going outside that way. So if you knit it cropped, you need to be aware that your belly is going to be showing. If I knit it cropped, I need to be aware that my belly is going to be showing. So people have knit a longer version, and they can kind of close it with a pin. I have some ways to be doing this. Otherwise, it's also going to be a nice piece to be wearing with dresses. So this is what I wanted to be doing anyway with the cardigan. So it's knit with worsted weight yarn, 4.5 millimeter needles. So once again, it's a smaller piece. It should be a quick knit, but I haven't bought it, so I can't read through it to recommend it or not. Just to add, 1,488 projects. I don't think it's a bad pattern with that many projects. Even though it's an older pattern, it's 11 years old. Yeah, I agree, but not that many people would have knit this pattern if it was not a good pattern. But anyway, so I like the color, that color very, very much. Okay, next is the vest or the slipovers or the sleeveless tops. I want to make one once again to be wearing over either a shirt or a blouse or a dress, and I have 3 of them in my lineup or in my bundle. The first one is Pousse Café by Thea Coleman once again. So it's a pattern that was published in January 2023. It's a nice vest. So two months of life for this pattern and already 45 projects. So now that Onyx went in, Peluche wants to go out. So I'm going to be waiting to see if she would just be quiet and, go sleep somewhere. Anyway, Pousse Café is a nice vest that has in the sample different color for the body than from the rib at the neck, at the top of the sleeve or at the shoulders, and has some kind of color work at the bottom. It's a cropped, so it's a shorter type of vest in the sample, and it's with iron, knit with iron yarn, so it should go very, very quickly, 5 and 5.5 millimeter needles, so that US 8 and 9. So 45 projects, so the original samples is a multicolored one, and many people did choose to keep the body of one color, the contrasting color for the collar and the top of the shoulders, and the color work of another with another contrasting color at the bottom. You can have a look through it. Some of them are very colorful, some of them are more neutral and remain in the neutral realm of colors. An interesting one, not that expensive either, and this one is going to be staying into my bundle. The next vest is the Sarah vest also by Unit Toronto. It was free when I got it. There was also a code about that vest. I think for both of the sweater and that vest, I made community tab posts to remind you of the fact that these two ones were free at the moment on the Unit site. I think you have to subscribe to their newsletters, so of course they get your personal details, but these are very beautiful patterns because the Sarah vest is $9. So it's in my library. I got it for free, and so this vest is with a stitch motif, with a light lace motif, is also cropped, and it's shown over a dress. And I've told you I want a vest to wear over dresses. So of course the lady who wears it, who shows it, is much slimmer than I can be. But if you look at the 74 project, so it was published in October 2021, so it's a year and a half old, 74 projects. You can see that many people of many different body shapes have knitted, although some younger and slimmer people have made it, but you can also have different body types. And I like the lace motif. It, if I recall correctly, it calls for some lace and fingering, and you can make have mohair thread for the lace part. And there is one idea I have, and I will have to check, or not check, but tell Rosemary, who's given me some beautiful tie-dye yarn and some beautiful mohair. And when I saw the Sarah vest, it clicked into my head, and this is what I want to be making with the two skeins of fingering weight with the mohair, some of the mohair that she gave me. So there are a variegated blue, several other more solid blues, and a green. I will have to look at the yardage and see what I do, but I think with the white tie-dye skeins and the mohair, I'm going to be making a Sarah vest. And my last vest pattern is Paris by Dieter Lurch. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. It was published in January 2023. It's a pattern that is available for free. Only 2 projects. Are there any other pictures? No, no other pictures. And what I like about this pattern is that it's a lace pattern or a stitch motif, a stitch sample motif. And the overall look, you may recall, I like, what's its name? Gotland, by Stephen West. I'm going to retrieve that quickly again. There is a shawl, there is a sweater, and there is a hat, I think. Dustland, I think. Dustland. Yeah, I'm sure it's Dustland. Not even maybe it's not necessary I retrieve it. I know it's Dustland. So the kind of stitch sample that with a rhythm that you can, so that is repeats of these stitch motifs on the sweater, the hat, or the shawl by Stephen West. The same kind of feeling. Of course, not the same kind of lace or stitch pattern, but the same kind of feeling, and I like that. So this is why this one caught my eye, I think, and it's in my library. Yeah, it's available for free, so you can also have a look and decide for yourself. It's decay and light fingering, so I guess most probably a decay and a mohair thread, but I'm sure you can knit with just a decay. 4 and 4.5 millimeter needles, and so US 6 and 8. So yeah, that was the last vest on my list. So next, with the warmer days coming up, I have 2 t-shirts that have caught my eyes. The first t-shirt is the Ocean Top by Circulo Studio. It was published in March 2021. What kind of yarn is it using? A sports weight yarn. I guess we have to stop to open the door to her. 3.5 millimeter needles, US 4. It's available for free. So I have it in my library. And once again, I've knit already a t-shirt that was looking like that with a nice lace motif. In addition to a lace motif on the yoke at the top of the sweater, you also have some kind of column type of lace motif on the body. And this is what I liked. So I don't see any project for this this t-shirt pattern. It's a free pattern, so you can have a look for yourself. And yeah, I like the idea of the lace yoke and the columns that are on the body, and I think the vertical lines can slim you out. So yeah, I need that. Who doesn't? The next t-shirt is Max's mock neck by Einer. I'm gonna be butchering your name, Einer. I'm very sorry. Berkimbayeva. I'm quite sorry. So this pattern is 12 US dollars, so that's 11 euros and 82 cents. And once again, so it's a short sleeve, let's say it's a short sleeved sweater that I placed in the t-shirt section because it's short sleeves. You can knit it with long sleeves, and it's a bit cropped, but I'm sure you can make it a bit longer. It's knit with DK weight yarn, needle size, so it's 3.25 millimeter needles, so US 3, so it's going to be a tighter gauge, and it's ribbed sweater. And I think this kind of pattern is going to be holding on itself. If you knit it quite tight, it can be very fitted, and I'm not going to be knitting very fitted. If you knit it just a bit wider than your body size, and you will have a nice shape of the t-shirt due to the rib the ribs, that will hold to themselves, and I think it's going to be quite flattering. If you look at the project, so the sample is yellow. I like that. There is another one which is dark gray. When you look at the project, you can see that with people with wider bodies, that the t-shirt is fitting really nicely on their bodies, and I think I like that very much. So it's drop sleeves, or not really drop sleeves. I haven't read the pattern. I guess you pick up stitches, and then so I guess you need the front and the back, and then you pick up stitches for the sleeve. Not sure it's a drop sleeves or not. What does the details page say? Does it say which kind of sleeves? Cap sleeves. So, you know, but even if with drop sleeves, the rib motif should have the fabric hold onto itself a bit better, so it's cap sleeves, so it's gonna be fine. And I like the overall look of this t-shirt a lot, so yeah, I'm gonna be keeping it in my bundle. Last but not least, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 patterns that are in the shawl, poncho, caul, dicky category. I placed all of that all together. You know, I like a shrug. I like to be wearing that. I think they are very, very versatile. For the intermediate season, and in Normandy we have a lot of intermediate season. We've had cold days this year, but we have a lot of not warm but not cold days, and dicky or shrug or a shawl is the perfect accessory to be wearing. So the first one is the snowflake poncho, and there is also a pattern for a pair of mittens that from Yuka Tomioka. So the pattern is paid for. It's 850 Japanese yen. And so I haven't had any look at it. And I like the kind of poncho that sits a bit, so that has a tubular caul. Does it say which kind of caul? Mock neck, turtleneck caul. So that has a caul that sits a bit higher on the neck, because I'm always cold on my neck, and a bit lower on the shoulders, and there is a front and a back, and mittens. So yeah, I like this pattern a lot. There is you can wear it sideways to have some of the front a bit sitting a bit higher, and on your arms the poncho sitting a bit lower. So yeah, I think it's could be a very, very practical, versatile project that has a lot of use. And when you look at the project, mostly in neutral colors, of course, and yeah, I like you know what all the different person have in it. So yes, that one I like quite a bit. And the next poncho is a mini poncho, so it's more like a color. I'm not going to go into the dicky or not dicky controversy, whatever, something that has a turtleneck or a mock neck that sits on your shoulders and that go a bit lower in the bottom and in the back. The mini poncho by Francesca Cariacato. So it's a free project. It was a free pattern, sorry. It was published in January 2013, so 10 years ago. Still beautiful, mostly I would say from what I'm seeing in mohair. US 6 4mm needles with the fingering weight yarn, so quite open gauge and loose gauge, and that should be a good layering piece. Even though it's a very old project, 10 years old, there are only in a free project only 10 projects with that pattern, and some of them mostly with neutral bluish colors, and yeah, I'm going to be keeping that one too in my bundle, because I have yarn for it. Maybe sometimes some of the yarn that Rosemary gave me, some of the mohair, so I have to see and read the pattern through and see if that very fine mohair would be fitting for that kind of project, but I think so. So the next pattern is a shawl, is the Linea shawl by Bérangère Caillot. So this pattern is €4.95, and it's a shawl Linea. And this shawl, what I like, how many? 231 projects, and it was published in April 2021. What I like is the different direction the stitch pattern is shows on the shawl. Sorry, I have to be coughing. I'm going to stop here. So the different stitch motif, it's all slip stitches. It's worked flat and slip stitches with short rows. I like this idea. I like the way the pattern construction looks like. It's not at all like Vertices Unite by Stephen West, but kind of the idea with a stitch motif. And when you look at the pattern, the different projects, there are 231 of them, you can see that many people made that shawl using different colors in the shawl, so that's striping. Yeah, a lot of interesting projects, and I like it in the light gray, whitish gray type of color, and I have yarn for that, and I have a few ideas for that. Not maybe white, because it's gonna be close to the neck, and with SPF and sun protector or makeup, white close to the neck becomes yellow quite fast. But anyway, you can browse through the project for colors and yarn idea, and yeah, I'm keeping that one in my bundle. The next shawl or caul or whatever is a color that is Coffee Run color by Samantha Guerin. It's a pet faux pattern, $7.50, so that's €7.39. Is it a dicky or is it not a dicky? Am I adding up to that controversy? Anyway, it was published in January 2023. There are 40 projects, so quite a successful pattern. And once again, a collar, a turtleneck, mock neck, a front and a back with a stitch motif. You know that I like that. You know what I like. I guess I can recommend that pattern, even though I haven't knit and haven't had any look at it, because that kind of pattern is pretty straightforward. So yeah, it's gonna be staying into my bundle. So next it is a shawl, the Sahara Sunset shawl. This shawl is not free, but I did not buy it because I guess there was an offer, a code offer to get it for free, €3.50. So it's Sahara Sunset Shawl by Chris Dvick. And this is a crescent type of shawl. And at first, I did not quite like crescent shawls. Now that I have made two of them, or two that look like crescent shawls, one crescent and one that has the same kind of vibes and fit on the shoulders, I think they are very useful, because you can put them up all on your collar and make a couple circles or rounds around your neck, and they sit tightly. They are a bit smaller, so there is not a lot of bulk around your neck, and they are quite easy for me to wear. What I like about this one there is some lace, there is some stitch motif, and it's knit with, I guess, a variegated yarn of some kind. What are you, fingering weight yarn with US 6 or 4 millimeter needles, so looser gauge, and how, 400 meters. So I think also what caught my eyes, is a one skein project, and I like that. So if you look at the different projects, there are 5 of them only. Some people have made me with much brighter colors than the sample, and the sample is in earthy, orangey kind of tones. This is why I liked it. I think the crescent shape, a stitch motif that you are not going to be bored with, and an earthy color that caught my attention. And my last shawl is the Enter shawl by Natasha Hornsby. So it's €5.90. I don't have it in my library. I think it's a very beautiful shawl that was published in October 2020. And it's knit with 3.5 millimeter needles, US 4, with fingering weight. And there are, I think, 3 different yarn colors. I guess, yeah, a main color and 2 contrasting colors. I have several of her shawls patterns in my queue. I bought them last year, so I need to knit these ones first because I already own the patterns. But I think you can, faithfully, I can faithfully recommend that pattern to you because it's, her patterns are really, really well written, and depending on your color choice, it can be very subdued or extremely bold. And I will keep that one in my want to make bundle. So, okay, for today, I went through my bundle of patterns I want to make, and I'm going to be removing only one, the Building Blocks Drop by Emma Shear, just because it's my own way of not liking much drop sleeves. I see she has a schematic of what the sleeves look like. She has a drawing, and she says it can be cuffed sleeves too. I'm not sure the structure is going to be strong enough to be holding there. But anyway, I will remove that one from my list. Please get it and knit it if you like it. You absolutely do not have to follow any of my recommendations. I hope that maybe going through that list gave you some ideas of some patterns you may have not seen before and that you like. A lot of them are free, so you can have a look. And I thank you very, very, very much for being here today with me. You are, even though there is sunshine right now at the window, you filming these videos is some kind of a ray of sunshine in my week, knowing that at some point we are going to be interacting in the comments down below. Especially in these darker times. I'll talk about that maybe my next Knitting Adventures video. These darker times that are surrounding me and maybe you, and that we need to actively place joy and happiness into our lives. We need to actively find these little drops or sparks of light that maybe happen once in a day, and we need to hang on to them so that we can focus on one spot of light in the very dark environment, and that will help go through the day, through the next day, through the week. And I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.